Okay, so my name is Samantha Campanelli, and I work with Lewis and Company at Keller Williams Advantage. We are an all-women's small team in real estate, and we serve generally Riverdale. And I am speaking now with Nathan, one of the owners of the Old Spot. And so the purpose of this interview is to really chat with some local business owners, kind of see how they're coping throughout this pandemic, because we know that unfortunately they're not able to open up for service. However, they are doing their best to pivot and continue to grow their business. And we really think it's important for a community to connect with local businesses so that they can help in any sort of way. And I really think that, it takes a village to raise a child. And I think it takes a village to help support local business. So that's why we're here today. And we also have some tasty Caesars that we're going to be making with Nathan. So we're super excited to see how they make their Caesars, because from what I've heard, it is delicious. And I'm also, at the end of this interview, I'm actually going to link their Now Magazine cocktail article, because they've been kind of broadcasted everywhere. So I'm so lucky to have the chance to speak with Nathan. And I'll let Nathan kind of take the show for right now, and then we will see how he makes a Caesar.
So yeah, we obviously had to close, like a lot of businesses, for the last couple of weeks of March and into April. But like a lot of places, we're also trying to get back open for delivery and takeout to kind of try to keep ourselves alive. So one of the things that we've been able to do is serve alcohol, which is great, because we're a pub and that's a big part of our business. So the two things that we're doing the most of are Caesar kits and cases of sweetgrass beer. So today I thought I'd just show you what comes with the Caesar kit and how to prepare it properly when you get it to your home.
Amazing. So as you start to make the Caesar, I'd love to know a little bit more about how yourself and Nicole are handling this pandemic, and what it is that you're struggling with most.
Well, I think today, it's been changing daily. I think right now the biggest pressing issue is rent relief. I think it's really crazy that small businesses and restaurants in particular have been mandated to close and not collect any revenue, but we're still expected to pay all of our fixed costs, like our rent and utility bills, bank interest, insurance. So it's, we're building all this debt while we're not able to operate. It feels strange that a business that was hit so abruptly and hard right out of the gate is not receiving any real support from any level of government. The subsidy is great if you're operating. It will be very helpful once we reopen to give us a little bit of extra cushion while we try to build our business back up again. But the loan is completely it's having the opposite effect, I think, of what they were intended. First of all, getting a loan to pay for fixed costs that you have no revenue to recoup just is going to plunge people further into debt. And being able to pay that debt off in time to get the $10,000 forgiveness is also kind of unrealistic, in the sense that we don't know when we're going to be able to open. We don't know what the restrictions are going to be when we open, the big one being capacity. So really all that's done is give ammunition to other people who are owed money from us to say, go get the loan. Again, I don't want to villainize anybody, particularly in my position. My landlord is a great person and has been so supportive and is allowing, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing now. But I think a lot of people don't have that. And she's also a small business owner. So, not only have we been hung out to dry, but so has our landlord. So has all of our suppliers. The restaurant business runs on 30-day terms. So a lot of people, all these businesses that support the restaurant business, are left without the ability to get paid. So these last few days, we've really been pushing aggressively for rent relief, which there's been murmurings about, but there's been no real movement on that. The Prime Minister made a comment on Thursday about something being in the works. Unfortunately, that day was the day when it was legal for landlords to lock out their tenants who couldn't make the rent for April 1st. So it seemed incredibly tone deaf to make that statement on that day when there was nothing that the tenants could do about it. I feel like if they knew that was coming and they were working on something, the provincial government should have stepped in and said, we're going to put a moratorium on evictions because we have a funding plan in place. That would have saved so many businesses. And, one of our local bars, the Shore Leave just down the road, they were the victim of that. Their landlords locked their door the first day they were allowed to do it. Maybe if they had known, if the government knew that there was some funding coming, maybe the provincial government could have put a moratorium on the evictions, and that could have saved that business.
Right.
So I feel like there's been like misstep after misstep as far as support for small business. And right now, besides trying to save my business, I'm just trying to make as much noise as I can to try to kind of shed some light on this as best I can. I mean, there's not much I can do besides try to, rant and rave as much as I can and get some people to listen. But I'll just say that the guys from Ascari, I'm sure lots of you guys know Ascari, the guys who own that company have started this savehospitality.ca. And, those guys identified the problem, and then they drafted a document, which was kind of a problem-solving document, some very clear policy on how to be addressed and fixed. And I think that's something that if anyone wants to help or reach out, they should go to that website and sign the petition and just have a look, because it makes a lot of sense. Small businesses and restaurants are a big part of the economy, the backbone of the economy, as far as our Prime Minister says, but it's not really getting treated like that right now. I think big business gets bailouts all the time. They get bailouts because of shady business practice and speculation. We need a bailout because there's a global pandemic that crippled us. And in order for all these jobs to come back and for these businesses to come back to life and for our boulevards to thrive, we need some support right now. Not some support because we made dodgy, business decisions, or because we speculated on real estate, or because the oil field we built didn't work out. It's because of COVID-19, something that's completely out of our control. So we really need some help, and I hope that something happens sooner rather than later, or else there's going to be a lot of businesses that go under in the next few weeks.
Totally. And I mean, I have to say, I know that there's a lot of business owners watching right now or will be watching. And I'm sure that I can say thank you on behalf of them for being their voice, because I do believe that it's very important to voice opinion, especially when you're so passionate about something. As some of you may not know, but Nathan's been on quite a few different news channels speaking about this topic. So I'm sure if you were to Google his name, then you'd be able to find some more articles and more broadcasts on a more in-depth conversation of the struggle of a restaurant owner. For right now, Nathan, what can our community do to help you? I know you have some amazing kits. You brew your own beer, sweetgrass beer, and you have all that in a bag of chips kit and a Caesar kit. And so maybe you can kind of shed some light on what we can do to help you right now outside of donating to the cause online.
Yeah, we don't really need donations. We just need people to get behind us as far as sending emails, signing our petitions, having a voice. It's not necessarily money we're looking for. We're looking for people to make some noise so that it's heard. And I think the one response I've gotten from a lot of these, speaking kind of or not speaking engagements, but the time that I've talked, people have been reaching out to me, and not just small business owners, just people. I don't think this issue has to do with, it's got to do with everybody. All the workers, a million people got laid off, and many more to come in these next few weeks. I think the small businesses and the restaurant business in particular is in a good position to reopen quickly and get people back to work. I know there's going to be restrictions with social distancing and things like that, but I think we need to make some noise to try to help these businesses survive, not just for my sake or other restaurant owners, but for all the people who work in them. For the amount of revenue that we generate. We have a very high number of employees. much more than a lot of other industries. So if given support, we can open back really quickly. We can get people back to work really quickly. It's definitely an undervalued industry as far as employment goes. And it's got work to do. The restaurant industry has a lot of work to do to make it a better job for people. 100%. Hopefully this helps change that. But just signing petitions, writing letters, that kind of thing. And then, yeah, the places that did manage to get back open and are doing takeout and delivery and trying to pivot into other things, just try to be as supportive as you can and order Caesar kits.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to kind of give you, I know lots of places are doing cocktail kits. And for us, we have sweetgrass, so we're selling cases of sweetgrass for the same price as you pay at the LCBO, but we'll deliver them to your door. You do have to buy a food item, but if you're feeling like eating light, we're offering hickory sticks or salt and vinegar chips. So that's the all that in a bag of chips thing. And then the Caesar kit, which, Caesars are, simple, but it's important to have the right ingredients. So I thought I'd just make one and show you what you can do with the kit you get from us.
Totally. Let's get started.
Okay. So with the kit, you're going to get a bottle of Stoli, a 750 bottle of Stoli, a bottle of Walter's Caesar mix, a container of Walter's Caesar rim. You're going to get some fresh grated horseradish, which you and I talked about earlier, which is the X factor. You're going to get some house-made pickles. Today we've got shishitos and onions that Chef has put together for us. You're going to get fresh lime, some Worcestershire sauce. I probably pronounced that wrong. Some house fermented hot sauce. We're also going to throw in some skewers so you can make it look just like you would if you were here. And the other X factor, I guess it's the Y factor, or the other key ingredient is good ice. Everyone makes ice in their trays at home, and it often has taste freezer burnt, or they buy a bag of ice at the store, and same thing. It's been sitting there for a while. Right before this all happened, we bought a cold draft ice machine, which is very good ice. So we give you a big, robust bag of ice. So all this stuff together is enough for 12 proper Caesars. So those are 2 ounces of vodka. And I'm going to put one together.
Awesome. So go ahead. No, go ahead.
We're going to start with rimming it. So what I usually do is I take a lime and put a slit in it, and I put the slit around the edge of the glass and squeeze and spin, which is going to create a bit of a sticky kind of thing so that it grabs onto the rim. So I'm going to dip it in my rim here. And I like a nice kind of robust rim. There you go.
Delicious.
I'm going to get some of my awesome cold draft ice in my retro scuba diving helmet ice bucket.
So it's important to fill the cup with ice all the way to the rim.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's going to be too watered down. Fill it with ice and use the proper amount of vodka if you want the perfect balance.
So what?
For me, for all the cocktails at the Auld spot, we always serve 2-ounce cocktails. Partially because I'm a lush, also because it tastes better. It's more balanced. So add that. There you go.
So would you say these Caesars are more of a breakfast Caesar, or a lunch Caesar, or dinner, or all of the above?
This is an all-day Caesar.
Yeah.
From 9 a.m. on. So I'm going to add the Worcestershire there, and then a little bit of our hot sauce. Oops.
And how much, I don't think I'm going to pronounce it right either, Worcestershire sauce do you use? Because I know a lot of people like a muddy Caesar, so.
Yeah, so 3 heavy dashes if you're using a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I always go a little heavy on the Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got all my hot sauce in there, and now I'm going to get my fresh grated horseradish. I know not everyone has a microplane, so we give them a tub that has the grated horseradish in it. Generally, you get like a tub of it. If you're not going to consume it all, just kind of put a wet piece of paper towel maybe or napkin on top, just so it doesn't dry out on you.
Oh.
So I like to put a little tuft of that right on top there. I'm going to take a skewer one of my shishito peppers, put that in there, and then
So how would someone go about ordering one of your Caesar kits?
Just send us an email at aldspotpub@gmail.com or give us a call at the restaurant,
Okay.
and we can deliver it to you when we're open, which is Wednesday to Saturday between 5 and 8.
Okay. Awesome.
Caesar.
Yummy. Cheers.
Mm.
Okay.
Give it a
Perfect.
good little stir. Use the stick with the shishito on it to stir in the horseradish and throw that lime in there as well. There you go. As you Caesar drinkers know, you want to poke and stab at it and keep stirring it all the way to the end. Yep, that's it.
Awesome. So, perfect. Well, that looks delicious, and I wish I wasn't virtual right now and I could come to the restaurant and get my own, but I guess I'll just have to order my own kit. So I will post the article of Now Magazine, and I will also post the email for someone to order their own kit below in the comments. And I guess on behalf of everybody else, we'd love to thank you for your time, and we'd love to thank everybody who is watching for your time and for watching our take 2, because I know last Friday we were supposed to do this and we had a little bit of technical difficulties, but pivoting is hard, like Nathan says, and you can only do your best. And so here we are again on a Wednesday. So we are going to continue trying to do these interviews likely every Friday at 3 p.m. with some other local business owners. So please stay tuned for our next announcement. And you'll see the Lewis & Company team, myself, Suzanne, Laura, and Brianna hosting. And Nathan, is there anything else that you'd like to kind of say before you?
No,
Any words of encouragement for the community in this pandemic?
Don't give up, stick it out, and make as much noise as you can, and don't settle for anything. Just because someone says that they're doing you a favor doesn't mean they are. Fight for what's right and what you believe in, and make as much noise as you can, especially all you small business owners out there, or all you workers in the hospitality business. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Nathan. We really appreciate all your time.
Thanks.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Should I open this by accident?
Oh my gosh.